As a businessman and real estate developer, I have legally used the tax laws to my benefit and to the benefit of my company, my investors, and my employees. I mean, honestly, I have brilliantly used those laws. I have often said on the campaign trail that I have a fiduciary responsibility to pay no more tax than is legally required, like anybody else. Or, put another way, to pay as little tax as legally possible. And I must tell you, I hate the way they spend our tax dollars. And believe me, that makes a difference. As a major real estate developer in this country and throughout the world, I face enormous taxes: city taxes, state taxes, sales taxes, excise taxes, employee taxes, federal taxes, VAT taxes, different countries. It's my job to minimize the overall tax burden to the greatest extent possible, which allows me to reinvest in neighborhoods, in workers, and build amazing properties which fuel tremendous growth in their communities, and always help our great providers of jobs, and we have to help our small businesses. What it's all about. What it's all about. The news media is now obsessed with an alleged tax filing from the 1990s at the end of one of the most brutal economic downturns in our country's history. If you remember the early 90s, other than, I would say, 1928, there was nothing even close. The conditions facing real estate developers in that early 90 period were almost as bad as the Great Depression of 1929 and far worse than the Great Recession of 2008, not even close. What had been a booming economy in the era of Ronald Reagan changed dramatically, and the business landscape changed with it. Bank failures and collapse, the absolute total destruction of the savings and loan industry, and the implosion of the retail market and real estate in general, something we've never seen anything like it. Many business people, including many of my competitors and some of my friends, were not able to survive. Companies, jobs, and opportunities were lost, and lives were destroyed as tens of thousands of people were put out of work. Some of the biggest and strongest people in companies went absolutely bankrupt, which I never did, by the way. Are you proud of me? Would have loved to use that card, but I just didn't want to do it. Thank you. Yet today, my company is bigger, stronger, far greater assets than it's ever had before, more premium properties. We've never done better. It's the strongest we've ever been. And we employ thousands of people, and over the years have employed thousands and thousands of people, which is the thing that frankly makes me most happy. That did not happen by chance or luck. It happened by action and talent. A lot of talent. I was able to use the tax laws of this country and my business acumen to dig out of the real estate mess, you would call it a depression, when few others were able to do what I did. In those most, I'm a star. Thank you, you are too. Oh, they were amazing times. In those most difficult times, when so many had their backs to the wall, I reached within myself and delivered for my company, my employees, my family, and the communities where my properties existed, and I really delivered. Those who spend their entire lives within the confines of government work and who know virtually nothing of business fail to understand the skill, dedication, the sheer grit it takes for a company to climb out of an economic depression of the scale we had in the early 90s. People like my opponent, Hillary Clinton, whose only... Folks, let's win on November 8th. Okay, let's just win. Anyway, her only method of making money is by selling government favors and granting access to special interests, know nothing about how businesses succeed and grow. Hillary Clinton has never created a single job in her entire life. By the way, we have somebody who has. Where's Bernie Marcus? Where's Bernie? Bernie Marcus, founder of Home Depot. Go to Home Depot. He only created about hundreds of thousands. How many jobs does Home Depot produce right now, Bernie? How much? Millions, Bernie. That's a lot of jobs. A great guy, a great man, an unbelievable entrepreneur, and somebody that put a lot of people to work. And Home Depot is a terrific company. And thank you for being here, Bernie. Appreciate it. Thank you. They haven't added a single dollar of value, people like Hillary, to the American economy. Hillary Clinton hasn't made an honest dollar in her entire life. All she does is takes from you, takes from your country, and peddles influence to donors, special interests, and foreign actors for astronomical dollars like you've never seen before. It's corruption of the highest order. You know it, I know it, she knows it, and plenty of other people know it, but they're not doing anything about it. Well, I made my money as a very successful private business person, following the law all the way. Hillary Clinton made her money as a corrupt public official, breaking the law and putting her government office up for sale. And now she's running for president. By her own account, Hillary Clinton left the White House dead broke. She said, dead broke. And then, remember, she became a senator for New York, did nothing. Remember the job she was going to produce? She never produced them. And then she became Secretary of State. And now, she and her husband have made more than $200 million without building a company or creating a single thing of value. During the early 90s, as companies went absolutely bust, they were collapsing all over the place, left and right, the media and powers that be said, Donald Trump, he could never, ever make it back. Oh, I remember those stories. We were all in trouble. How many people then were in trouble, like everybody was in trouble? But they said, and they were so gleeful, he could never make it back. They said I had billions of dollars in borrowing, which is true, and hundreds of millions of dollars in personal guarantees, which is true, and no pathway out, which is false. That was a bad time. That was an ugly time. A lot of people, you'll never hear from them again from that period. But I never had any doubts whatsoever, and most importantly, I never, ever gave up or even thought about giving up. That's because I knew in my heart that when the chips are down is when I perform the very best. That is always when I perform the best. It's when I make my best decisions, judgments. You remember Bernie saying Hillary Clinton has bad judgment. And honestly, my single greatest asset probably is temperament, because if you didn't have the right temperament, you could have never escaped that financial jungle, that's for sure. Single greatest asset is my temperament. And I have a temperament for winning. You have to win. We have a temperament, all of us, for winning. And when people make the mistake of underestimating me, that's when they are really in for their biggest surprise. Same thing with a lot of the people in this room. Just look at what happened in the primary. Remember the primary? Trump's running. Oh, don't worry about it. He's a star of The Apprentice. He built a nice company. Don't worry. Just look at what happened. Our incredible movement is doing, just take a look. This is a movement, folks, a movement like they've never seen. What we've done is amazing. And now we have one person left, Crooked Hillary, and we have to beat her on November 8th. And you have to get out and vote, and you have to get out and make calls, and you have to do... And jokingly, I like to say, if you're sick, if you get the absolute worst prognosis from the doctor, and it looks like maybe you're not even going to make it, it doesn't make a damn bit of difference. Get up and vote on November 8th. But the reason I never felt endangered, really, and I never did. I never felt endangered during the real estate downturn. I guess I didn't read the stories. Was that I knew myself, I knew my business, I knew the financial system, I knew the tax code, and most importantly, I knew how to fight, because that's what you had to do. That was fight. And that's what I am. I'm a fighter. And I'm now going to fight for you. I'm not fighting for me anymore. I'm fighting for you. Fighting for you. With my knowledge, I knew that I would make a comeback without question. I never had a doubt in my mind. And again, I don't know. I don't even think of it as a comeback. It was just like, you know, we had tough periods, good periods, tough periods. We just knew that things were going to be just fine. But that is why I'm here today. Thank you, darling. And I'm praying for you, and I love you. Great people. Now I get the whole hero thing. Now I get... But that is why I have left private business to go into public life. If you would have ever told me that I was going to be doing this. Now, had I known I was going to be doing this, I would have commenced with certain television interviews, radio interviews. I would have said things slightly differently. And I wouldn't have had as good a time in life and as much fun in life, but it would have made my life as a politician a little bit easier, right?